Welcome to Simply Bitcoin, the channel that breaks down all the daily Bitcoin news from Twitter, the Daily Fail, meme review, software releases, and the websites by plebes. And today we've got special guests from BTC Kindergarten, At My Living Truth, and Nick Can't Mine. Fellow Bitcoiners joining us today, and we are going to kick it off with the numbers. Here we go.
Clark.
Moody. Dashboard.
Amazing.
All right. Well, we are currently at a block height of 666,962. The current Bitcoin price, 35,405. Yeah, you got to put Satoshi away. Chain rewrite days, 583. Total lightning capacity, 1,034.72 BTC. And the Bitcoin versus gold market cap, 5.43%.
I'm bored as hell at these prices. I know you guys are bored as hell. And the most bored of all is Satoshi, the rubber Bitcoin chicken, and he only clucks when the price of Bitcoin reaches an all-time high. So you guys are going to have to wait. Anyways, Phil, it's time for
the Daily Fail. So this kind of takes us back to like 2017, 2018. Some older Bitcoiners may know who Rhett Creighton is. Anyways, it's not the video that's a fail. It's really just him. So this is a person that was here last bull run, complete freaking scammer. Okay. Decided to fork off something called Bitcoin Private. Okay. And for those people who don't know what Bitcoin Private was, it was one of the easiest chains to attack because it had like zero hash. Okay. Completely centralized, and you could just completely destroy it. And it had hidden 2.04 million coin.
Oh my God.
Okay. So that thing is completely worthless. But look, the reality is that this guy is one of these people who presents well, he speaks well. And when you don't quite understand Bitcoin and you don't understand the value proposition, he makes sense. And you can kind of believe what he's saying. And you know, like, people talk about the fact that Bitcoin transactions are transparent, and wouldn't it be amazing to have a private coin, you know? And that's how he got people, because it sort of made sense, but really it didn't need to be its own coin to offer a privacy feature, which will eventually end up in Bitcoin anyways, and already has been implemented technically if you look at Lightning. So you just got to watch out for guys like him, because he's back again and he's talking about some new scam, which I'm not even going to name on this thing because I don't want to encourage anyone, but just be wary.
Yeah, man, look, it's very simple lessons, right? Everyone's a scammer. Everyone wants your Bitcoin. And, you know, a shitcoin is a shitcoin, right? He's just, man, what else can I say, right? Just very simple. We've seen this 1,000 times over. You know, don't buy shit coins and don't trust anybody, especially some dude that sounds like he knows what he's talking about, because he probably doesn't. I want to get our guest perspective on this. Nick, what do you think about this BS?
This dude's a full-blown scammer. And I mean, like, he knows exactly what he's doing and how easy it is for people to fall for this stuff. When I first got into Bitcoin, I was looking around at, you know, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin, you know, what all the other forks like gold and stuff. And after a while, I was like, man, I really like this one Bitcoin, Bitcoin Diamond. I mean, that sounds pretty dope. It looks pretty cool. It's probably going to go up in value because it has the word Bitcoin in it. And I didn't lose really much money on it at all, but it was just the whole thing of, I know I'm not the only one that fell for that. I know a bunch of other people did, and this dude's a total scumbag.
Yeah, totally. He's a total scumbag. He's using the name of Bitcoin to sell his shit coin. And yeah, you're going to get absolutely wrecked, you know? And look, there's no other Bitcoin, you know, there's just one. Optimus, what are your thoughts on this scamming BS?
Well, first off, I just want to point out that Nick just self-wrecked himself saying he went into Bitcoin Diamond, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, dude, I mean, I completely forgot Rhett was around. He's a scammer, like everyone's saying. Only thing I remember of him is he's got like a Bitcoin fork tattoo or something on his arm. So like he's brandishing the scamminess like on his body. So, you know, like, sucks for the people that are giving him money to continue to fund the scams that he's doing. And it looks like he's jumping on another scam coin. And that's just what scammers do, dude. They just hop from one coin to the other, and they have no skin in the game. And so, like, just stay away from it, guys. Like, do yourself a favor and avoid him. Block, mute. It's the best thing you can do.
Absolutely. Definitely stay away from characters like that. And man, he was audacious. He didn't even care. He put those 2 million extra coins ready to dump on everybody, right? So, man, it is what it is. Scammers be scammers. Phil, it's time for
the daily meme review.
All right, everybody, we've been having so much fun with the picture memes. We've done video memes for I don't know how long. So this week I want to change it up. I want to stick to the pictures. And of course, we're doing the first ever picture meme review with guests. So I'm very excited. The first meme is brought to us by Count Bitcoin. Awesome pleb Bitcoin account. Let's check out his meme. Gold would have pumped. It's pretty good, man. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It made me laugh. I have a weakness for laughter. Phil, I'm going to give that an 8.5. What about you? And then we'll move on to our guest.
I'm going to go with a little bit higher. I'm going with a 9.2. Then we'll ask the guests their scores, and then we'll do the review, I guess.
Yep. What about you, Optimus? What do you give? What score do you give that meme?
I agree with you. My first thought was 8.5.
Awesome. And last but not least, Nick, what do you rate that meme?
I'm going to give that a solid. I was going to give it an 8.5 as well, but that's my boy, Count. So I'm going to give it a solid 9.
Oh, okay. You're not even hiding the bias. I like it, though. Solid score.
Like it.
9 from Nick. Let's move on to our next meme. Man, let's check it out. Brought to us by RDBTC. He is a Simply Bitcoin meme lord. So you have to raise that bar. You have to be strict in the scoring. Let's check it out, Elon. Hey, this is one of his best memes, bro. And that's just Sailor kissing Elon's sweet ear, telling him to buy Bitcoin. Phil, because it's RD, I'm going to subtract 0.5. I have to be strict with him. I'm going to give that an 8.5. What about you?
No, I'm sticking with it. I'm going with a 9.5.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's see what our guests think. Nick, what do you think? What would you give that meme?
I'm also giving that a 9.5. That was dope. Artie's the homie, and you already know Elon Musk is buying whole loads of stacks of corn, so that meme is actually true.
Right? That's confirmed. Like 100, we're going to find out very soon. Elon's been stacking this whole time, right? And you're going to be able to, purchase Teslas with Bitcoin. That's coming soon. It's inevitable, bro. This is the same guy that, made jokes about 420 and, crashed the stock part. So it's definitely not out of his character to, start putting some of Tesla's reserve in Bitcoin. Absolutely. Last but not least, Optimus, what would you rate that meme?
I'm gonna go with Nick, 9.5. I love RD. He's always sliding my DM, sending me fucking memes. Oh, excuse me. He's always sending me memes, and that's just hilarious, dude. Like him whispering in his ear, like "Buy Bitcoin, you little bitch." Like that's my kind of meme.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's super funny. It's what you said, Phil. It's an effective meme. It gets the message across, right? Phil, why'd you give it your score?
Okay. Take a look at what he did, though, right? That's Captain Jean-Luc Picard. Okay, like he took Star Trek right there, and he brought Michael Saylor into Star Trek. So this is a little bit different. It's like, so obviously you've got that natural star power, but like he at the same time brought Star Trek into this, which I think is pretty cool. I'm not a Trekkie myself, but I know that there's tons of them out there, and it's interesting. It may catch their eye.
To say the least, it's definitely interesting. It definitely, it has a wide net. I'm curious why you gave it your score, Nick.
I just think RD is super funny. Like Optimus said, he's always sliding my DM, sending me good memes. I recorded a podcast with them and got to talk with him more. Super chill, nice guy. This meme it's really good because like you go around on Twitter and if you connect the dots correctly, you can confirm that Elon has been buying Bitcoin after that Sailor little exchange that both of them had on Twitter. So this just gets me excited because I know Elon, being the richest person in the world, he's got some money to buy some corn and pump my bag. So
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Absolutely, absolutely. And of course, last but not least, Optimus, why'd you give it your score? You give it a pretty high score. Why'd you give it?
Well, first, I'm biased. I love RD. He's the man, dude. His memes are classic. But also, it's just like hilarious. Just thinking of Sailor whispering in Elon's ear, like, buy Bitcoin, you little bitch. Like, and it's not saying anything more. Like, to me, that's just hilarious. Like, that's just funny. That's just something like, I do to my homie or something. Just like, have fun staying poor. Buy some Bitcoin. Stop being a bitch.
Exactly. It's a classic. It's a classic, and that's why he's definitely a simply Bitcoin meme lord. Phil, that being said, it's time for
The Daily News, sponsored by Crypto Cloaks.
All right, everybody. The news for today, we got a packed segment today, and I'm just gonna go by three very quick headlines. They just kind of catch everybody up, and then we're going to get into the main headlines, and we're gonna have a panel discussion with our guests. The first headline, obviously, is brought to us by Bloomberg Opinion. This is propaganda. We've been telling you this on Simply Bitcoin. They hate Bitcoin because they can't control it. So what do? Bitcoin investors locked out of their Bitcoin wallets are rediscovering why banks are important. What does that sound like to you? That's straight up propaganda. The next piece of news, it's awesome. It's very bullish. Bitcoin node count hits new all-time high. This is amazing. This is further showing the decentralization of the Bitcoin network, right? Remember that there's this awesome relationship between Bitcoin miners and nodes. They're both necessary for the total decentralization of Bitcoin. So it's pretty awesome to see that the Bitcoin node count hit all-time high. And then we got some news from BlackRock in a new SEC filing. They list potential Bitcoin derivatives as possible investment. Let's see how that develops. There wasn't that much information. I did get a chance to look at the SEC submission, and it really didn't. It was very vague. They're just preparing themselves. They're positioning themselves. And the last, very quick piece or whatever. Grayscale bought 16,000 Bitcoin. They now own 3% of the total Bitcoin supply. That's absolutely crazy. And what I want to get into today, guys, we are preparing for a new administration, the Biden administration. And you know it, they're going to make money printer go burr. And the only reason is because fiat is in its last death throes. Look how much money they printed this year alone. It's gone absolutely parabolic. We've been covering it here first on Simply Bitcoin. We do not think that fiat is going to last the decade. And look, this is just the inevitable. They're going to go to helicopter money. This is just how it ends, right? And especially because the government is left leaning, they tend to be a little bit more, they tend to give out some more stuff. Again, we are not left. We are not right. We are the Bitcoin party on Simply Bitcoin. I just wanted to point that out. Phil, what are your thoughts on the new Biden administration, $1.9 billion burr? And then we'll get our guest thoughts.
Yeah, the $1.9 trillion. I mean, look, at the end of the day, they have, as you said, and as we've said many times before, there are no more tricks. There are no more rabbits to pull out of the hat. You can just keep pulling the same thing, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They are simply going to print more and more. And I don't know how they're going to continue to hide the inflation. I mean, obviously, it's not really hiding, because when you dig a little bit, you see the inflation, right? You see the inflation and how much it costs to go to school. You see the inflation in real estate. You see the inflation in stocks. You start to see the inflation. If you really start to look at the retail sector, you can start to see it there with smaller food amounts that cost the exact same as they used to, or cost more for less. So look, it's creeping, right? It's creeping inflation. It's creeping its way around everywhere. I mean, obviously, I think this is huge. It's huge for Bitcoin, but I kind of feel, I kind of feel bad, because it's not going to be an easy transition, and it is absolutely going to be painful.
Absolutely. When inflation hits the United States for the first time, we're actual very apparent inflation, because you're absolutely right, Phil. The metrics that they use, they kind of hide it in a way, even though it's very apparent. But once those food prices start just being so apparent that you can no longer hide it with the tools that they're using, it's going to be a very bitter lesson very quickly to a lot of people, especially the people that aren't holding Bitcoin. I want to get Nick's thoughts on the new administration. They just got inaugurated, or he just got inaugurated today, and he just wants to make that money printer go burr. Nick, what are your thoughts on this?
Dude, it was eerie this morning when I was at work and the national anthem was playing and Joe Biden was walking up to get inaugurated. Y'all know I'm not a fan of him, but my boy Trump skimped me on the stimulus checks. I didn't get any of them. So I'm hoping Biden fills up my bank account, dude, because I need to be buying corn with all that money, dude. But yeah, it's funny because we always joke about, money printer go burr and number go up, and how that relates to us. But it's like, dude, people are going to get seriously hurt from this. Like, money printing, this stuff isn't a joke, to a certain extent. Like, I think about my parents who don't own any Bitcoin really. And like, I'm worried for them. I'm worried for them as inflation comes around, and I'm already seeing inflation, dude. When I go to the grocery store, my groceries are much more expensive. And I was talking with a coworker about like CPI. CPI is just bullcrap, dude. Like, the ways they can hide it, like, you can go on the US Bureau of Labor Statistics website and find the PDF file hidden on their website of how they calculate CPI. And dude, it's like 170 or 180 something pages long. It's like there's no need for a PDF that long to calculate, a simple function, which is how your money today is devalued tomorrow. It's just complete madness.
Absolutely. It's almost as if it was designed in a way to hide inflation, right? It's like the government wouldn't do that to us. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic. Optimus, what are your thoughts on this, man? It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, like this is just nuts, Like, I was joking with my cousin today. Today's the inauguration day, and I was all joking. I'm like, dude, well, today's the day that marks the U.S. becoming a third world country, because like money printer is about to go burr, and now we have the $1.9 trillion stimulus coming out, and it's like, yeah, okay, like, give me a check, it's gonna go into Bitcoin. But like Nick said, dude, like, so many people are gonna get hurt, and like, I feel for them, and I've been trying to tell people to buy Bitcoin, and now we're at the point where like, okay, I'm like so over telling people to buy Bitcoin, but it's like, it's a crucial moment now to tell people to own Bitcoin and get in the safety boat, because shit's about to go down, man. Like, we already know that they're gonna come after Bitcoiners, so it's just, man, it's just such a crazy time. And then like seeing the IMF say that they're gonna just like, they're encouraging people to spend as much money as possible. It's like, man, we're just so lucky to be Bitcoiners. It's going to be a crazy 4 years. And, like, I really hope it doesn't become the end of the US, but like, it really seems like it. And of course we're being hyperbolic, but man, it's just crazy times, and it's only going to get crazier in my opinion.
Absolutely. And, it's inevitable with, everyone thinks that the dollar has been around thousands of years, but in reality, it's only been around 50 years. This is the 50th year birthday of the dollar this year, right? So, humans have this tendency to like, not understand something that's never happened to them, but that doesn't mean it can't happen, right? So I absolutely agree with your points, Optimus. I think we're definitely, just to use the new president's words, we're definitely heading into a dark winter. So the next piece of news is, man, again, it's a little dark as well, but I thought this was absolutely crazy. This is a follow-up to yesterday's news about Yellen. So she actually said during that 3-hour video call, she also said, she raised eyebrows, to quote the article, she raised eyebrows of some senators in Wall Street when she said that the Treasury would consider the possibility of taxing unrealized capital gains. That is absolute insanity. And Mr. Hold's tweet on this, and some Bitcoiners are all voicing their opinion, right? Sovereign Hold says same. They want to impoverish you. This is a total communist system now, right? So Mr. Hold's tweet says taxing unrealized gains is when I pack up the kids, wife, and leave this rock. Unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever you like to call it, Phil, I completely agree with Mr. Hold. I'm getting the hell out of here. When the fact that they're trying to tax you on things that you haven't even profited from, they just want to cut, is insane. And that's never happened in American history, right? So it's just another present that we get from this specific administration, right? Phil, what are your thoughts on unrealized tax gains? God, I don't know. It's crazy. What are your thoughts on this, Phil?
So first of all, I'm not really sure how they're going to calculate this, but I'm kind of picturing a scenario where somebody buys shares of something, it goes up, they don't sell, and they end up paying on the fact that it went up that high.
Yeah. So Phil, they said they said specifically. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you, but it mentions.
No, please.
It mentions how they're going to do it. It says specifically, it quote mark to market mechanism. I don't know what that is, but what I'll do is I'll pop up the definition. Sorry, Phil.
Yeah, we'll try to figure that out. But either way, I think it's disgusting, and it's very. I mean, that's scary stuff. I think that it could be much worse. I mean, obviously, it's going to be a bigger cash grab for them, which is what they're looking for.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. What are they going to do with that money? They have a money printer. So why do they want to take money from us? It's insane. Optimus, what are your thoughts?
Like, what if you didn't sell by the reporting period? You have to pay up for it.
It's a shit.
And then what if it goes down the next year? Now you've paid gains that you never got. It doesn't. I don't know, man. Mark to market. That sounds like the Mandrake. What is it? The Mandrake mechanism, which is what they use to create money out of thin air and pretend that they're buying assets.
Yeah, man.
Or bonds or whatever.
It's definitely a dark winter for sure. Optimus, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, dude. It's like you said, it's going to be a dark 4 years, dude. Yellen, if this is her first initial, PR for when she's getting into her position, man, it's not going to look good for anyone with any amount of wealth. They literally, I tweeted the other day, governments want to steal everything you own. And this is just more confirmation that they literally want everything you've ever owned so that you can basically become their slave. And it's man, it's so dark and twisted, in my opinion. These people are fucking sick, man. And I just don't see how they could think this is a good idea. But I was watching the Roman Empires on Netflix, and there's a point in where they're talking about Caligula, and he basically was doing all this debauchery, and he had to tax the shit out of his citizens so that he can pay back his treasury. And it's just literally a modern day version of this. They're just they're the U.S. is bankrupt, and they're just trying to steal all the wealth from their citizens so that they can continue the charade. And if this is what they're thinking already, man, the next 4 years are going to be crazy. And then my other thought is don't they have assets that are going to be unrealized gains? And what are they going to do? Tax themselves and then, redistribute the wealth? It's no, it's going to be literally, what's the saying we always say, rules for thee, but not for me. Yeah. And man, it's if people still don't believe that socialism or communism is a possibility in America, they're not reading between the lines. And it's sad to see. And shit, dude, it's so hyperbolic to say, but is this the end of America? Are we going down that path now? It might not happen in 4 years, but it seems like we're going down that path where it's the end of an empire.
Absolutely. And this time period has all the ingredients for fourth turning, and I definitely think we're definitely going through that right now as we speak. And half the country questions the election, right? We don't know what happened, but and the fact that these people that half the country don't feel that they've been legitimately elected are going to start adding all these regulations, man, that I feel like the vast majority of the population doesn't quite understand. is definitely, absolutely scary. It's absolutely terrifying. And I don't think you're being hyperbolic at all, Optimus. I think that, the future of America, especially at the end of them being the world reserve currency, is definitely in question. Nick, what are your thoughts on unrealized tax, man? That's insane. I never thought it would come here.
It's straight up theft. Taxes, some of the stupid taxes we pay already are very unfair, but this is just like so ridiculously unfair. It's not even funny. Like, to think I'm going to get taxed on something for doing absolutely nothing is pure insanity. And it's got me thinking, like, man, I got to DM Katie and get a passport because, dude, like, I'm with Mr. Hoddle on that boat. Like, dude, if they pass this, they are going to drive so much money out of this country. There's going to be a massive wealth drain, and the Bitcoiners are going to leave with all that wealth. And also, as the US dollar dies, like completely gets destroyed this decade, the US is getting impoverished because they don't got Bitcoin. We have Bitcoin. So it's a transition of wealth. They're giving us all of our wealth and we're bouncing out, and we're going to a better place that's going to treat us better. And it's pretty scary to see, dude. I have this like ideal vision of what I want in my life when I'm older. And over the past year, I have seen governments go full force and start to implement things and, implement stuff that's going to be so much worse in the future. And they're literally taking away the simple life that I want to live when I'm older. And it's crazy. I never thought in a million years that this would be happening in the US.
Absolutely. It's you guys made some great points and I completely agree, Nick. I think not that many people believe that this is happening in the US to their detriment, right? Because they think that because it's never happened in the US, it can't happen. And, it's definitely a tragedy, and thank God for Bitcoin. If it wasn't for Bitcoin, I'm sure that all you guys would agree, it would be definitely very depressing right now. But as Bitcoiners, we had one of the best years economically of our lives last year. And it looks like this year is going to be the same, right? So Bitcoin is this shining hope. The shining light of hope in this world of darkness that surrounds us. Phil, there was an awesome website by Plebe. Why don't you tell everybody about it?
Websites by Plebes. So it's not a website by Plebes, but it is it's a website that would help anybody who's actually sold, any of their Bitcoin or anything like that. It is bitcoin.tax, and it's a great website to easily help you calculate your taxes. Should you need to do that for Bitcoin sales, and apparently they also help the shitcoiners as well. So,
yeah, it's perfect for the unrealized tax that's is coming. That's
there you go,
right?
Start helping them out.
It's funny because when we always do like memes.
No, but it's good, right? Because taxes are scary. It's mystical, right? People get afraid of taxes. Nobody likes taxes, right?
Yeah.
So it's supposed, like from what I've heard from, some reputable people, like they've had really good experiences using that site to calculate their taxes, and it really simplified things for them. So
absolutely. And it's just funny because every time we have a meme or we do a website by Plebe, for some reason it connects with the material that we're covering that day. It always happens, right? It just happened today too. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching an episode of Simply Bitcoin. I just want to give a shout out to our awesome guests. Go check out Nick Can't Mine on Twitter for some awesome Bitcoin Plebe content. He has a podcast with Bitcoin Magazine. It's called Meet the Taco Plebs. He's on YouTube. He just started uploading on the podcast. Go check him out. It's really cool. And it's just interviews with plebes, right? It's different. I love it. Those are the type of podcasts I listen to. And of course, last but not least, my other homie, My Living Truth. This guy is the best. He co-hosts Bitcoin Kindergarten with Nick Can't Mine. It's an awesome show. I try to go every week. It's every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. You could join on Discourse. In my opinion, it's awesome. It's designed for like You know, it's designed for noobs, but you're going to have veterans in there. Everyone's talking, everyone's asking questions. They get these awesome presentations from Bitcoin experts. Don't listen to mine because it sucked, but all the other ones are awesome. And yeah, definitely go follow Bitcoin Kindergarten on Twitter, and the Discord link is there. Guys, if you enjoyed the show, smash that like button. And of course, if you loved it, subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.